All right, welcome back. Here we go. Another episode of the Average Pastor podcast, and we're filming here at the Kufal Cabin, the original, established in 1958, the Jim and Sally Kufal cabin. Here we are, and we've got Drew's back as a special guest.
Brought him all the way in from Minneapolis.
Yes.
30 miles away.
And we also have a first ever studio audience.
Man.
Here's the studio audience. Wave at the camera, boys.
Yeah.
Can you be an aspiring average pastor? That's the question.
If you're an aspiring average pastor, are you a below average pastor or an above average pastor?
Or
either one.
Wow.
That's good. If you're above average and you're aspiring to come down.
Because Jeff was kind of leaving us for a while, and
you pulled me right back down. I just hung out with you one episode, and I was right back.
It was right back. It doesn't take long. This is yeah. I mean, what's your average pastor joke, James? You made fun of my book. You had a little comedy bit about, if you set the bar low enough, you just hit it every time.
Yeah. If you write a book called The Advantage of Average, like it's bound to be great because you're, on the front end saying, this is average. You don't have much of a bar to hit.
Right. So just set the bar low enough, you hit it every time. Yeah. That's kind of what we're doing. So we're some pastor friends just talking about life, ministry, and we're still on this writing retreat. We had a good time this afternoon. This morning we were working on some stuff that we're writing, and we did some readings this morning. That was so cool. Jake, the book you're working on, Embracing Different. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called?
As of now. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. That was pure joy.
Special. Yep.
That was special. So I thought, I don't know, I'd love for you to read an excerpt.
I don't have. I mean, a good thing about
this is where maybe a little pre-planning.
That'd have been nice to know.
I don't know.
Reading excerpts to you guys as average pastors, because we have such low expectations, you feel like you're a really good author. Like,
oh, you crushed it.
Yes, exactly.
You crushed it.
Hey, I clapped. Yeah. I clapped. I didn't stand up and clap, but I gave you an ovation.
Low expectations. It's key.
It was good. I think what you're processing there in the book is huge for, as we just, the premise that the wide path, I mean, it's always the easiest path, the path of least resistance, the path that everyone's taken. And even Christians, among Christians, it's easy to take that path, but to fight to take the narrow path. And I feel like you're trying to make a wide path narrow again.
Yeah. What does practical holiness look like for our culture that maybe has really embraced a cultural Christianity that reflects the world more than it should?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some classic Jake moments in there.
Oh my word. It's gotta go to print because
it's gotta go to editing.
It's gotta go to editing and then it's gotta go to print. No, seriously, there's just so many treasures. But here, I know that probably most people listen and don't watch this, but I just gotta say this setting,
it's amazing.
Like, even look at the table in front of us. There are so many worn off marks, everything else. You know why? Because this table has fed people over and over. How many other arms and hands and meals have been set on this table? And
everything about this cabin, the walls are just filled with memories. I mean, I think I've been coming here for like 40 years.
Yeah, was it 1990 you saw yourself in the guest book?
Oh, yeah, in the guest book. I'm going back and seeing, I was here in 1990 for this, birthday party or something.
I feel like we're stepping into part of Mark's story coming here because so many key moments in Mark's life have some reference point to this cabin and being on this lake. And the fact that there's no insulation in this cabin. I mean, it is as true,
so
like
beautiful.
vintage
Yeah.
cabin.
And you would think with Mark experiencing something like this, he would have turned out better.
This should have made him amazing.
This should have made him amazing.
Something went wrong.
I think that's why this is why I turned out average. This is the ultimate. This right here, this cabin is the advantage of average.
I'm telling you, it's inspiring.
Yeah. This cabin just says it's not about the stuff.
Yes.
It's about the people that come here.
That's what I'm saying.
And-
It's yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's
All
inspiring.
of our childhood memories. I mean, I reenacted the burn, I burned my, torched my leg right before my sophomore year of college, right out here. And, but yeah, I, lost my Bible that I had. It's a little pocket Bible that I memorized scripture from, and I lost it here. Couldn't find it for years. It was lost. And all of a sudden I got it in the mail, and they found it in the cushions of this couch right behind me. And, a lot of fun memories. So, and Joe's birthday is in July. Here it's coming up, I think tomorrow. But so he always had the great time for a birthday in the middle of July. Have a cabin, so we come up here. But so it's been a good time with you guys and our studio audience. I don't know, maybe we'll get some questions from the audience.
I think we should.
We should. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about,
Do we have like a sign that tells everybody when to clap and when to cheer?
Oh,
yeah.
When to laugh.
phone
That's
light.
gonna be big.
Yeah.
Have a laugh track to
Yeah.
this.
That's pretty.
To this episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I mean, these guys. So we got Austin Miller here from Redemption Church. Got Ryan Hamby. Got Drake Epkiss.
Yeah.
You guys are in towels.
Yeah.
Because they braved a storm to save some paddles.
Yeah.
It's like hailing outside.
Yeah.
That's like an average hero.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't save a kid or was it? But you went after a paddle.
Or was it
that's
a childish adventure? They were out there laughing uproariously. I mean, it was like,
I think it deserves recognition.
Ryan-
saved a plastic
What
Adirondack
was
chair.
going through your head when you decided to run out into the hailstorm?
We were just trying to see if we should go get the meat off the smoker, and Jeff kept giving us mixed signals. And he said, "No, don't worry about it." Well, if you're out there, you might as well. Oh no, don't worry about it.
Ryan.
So we were stuck in limbo out in the hail.
you couldn't hear me because of all the hail. You were getting the mixed signals because I couldn't speak through the. No,
Yeah, so we went and jumped on a trampoline instead.
I can tell Ryan's been partying hard because your voice was shot. You had no voice. You've been getting after it.
I'm a little concerned though. Did you save the paddles and sacrifice the meat? Because that was a bad choice.
Jake's concerned.
Drake, how's the meat? Is the
How's
meat okay?
the meat?
Still rolling. We're good on the meat.
We're good with the meat.
I was afraid Jake was going to leave the shot and you were going to hear some clanging and banging. He was going to throw one of those dudes through the window there for a second.
Cut the camera.
That was pretty fun seeing those three out. What do we do next? Let's go save the trampoline. Just full of just energy.
Yeah, that was amazing. Lightning, hail, just could not hold these guys back from saving the oar, saving the chairs.
The
So-
oar.
So, well done.
Hey,
So-
can I? Do you mind if I co-op?
Yeah, please.
For a second.
Somebody help because I
you
have
don't know
no
where we're
agenda.
going?
I don't know
Okay.
where we're going. So
Well, I don't know when this will come out in the magic of James Pusey's, production world. This will come out at some point, but we found out today that Dr. John MacArthur passed away. In fact, just like hours ago. And I guess I just wanted to take a moment. I mean, we're friends and have a lot of great times up here, but I've been pretty preoccupied all day. I've been supposed to be productive, but he just had a huge impact on my life from the moment I gave my life to Christ. I somehow tuned in on I didn't even know there were Christian radio stations until I gave my life to Christ, and this whole world opened up, and somehow stumbled upon Grace to You and his Bible teaching. And so he was discipling me for years in my Christian life by tuning in. And, it was before we had podcasts and live stream, It was just, you had to make sure you were at the right time at the right place to tune. And then you could get the tape of the month, and stuff like
your
that.
connection, he had more influence on you than just over the radio waves. People don't know maybe your story with.
Yeah. So I ended up deciding I really wanted to learn the Bible more. So he had become the president of a seminary in Southern California. So Teresa and I packed up. We had our first kid. She was pregnant with Audrey, our number 2, and we just got in our little blue Escort and moved to LA so I could learn under Dr. MacArthur and the Master's Seminary. Well, after the first year, there were some people back home, some equally poor people like us who had committed to help us have enough money to pay that exorbitant rent and go to seminary. And toward the end of my second semester there, I just felt like the Lord was asking me to release them from that stewardship. I mean, they had given up moving into homes. They had it wasn't wealthy people. This were people like us putting us through seminary. And so I wrote them a letter thanking them for everything and saying, hey, if God only gave us 1 year out here, I've learned more than I could have ever imagined, and I'll be happy and content, and that's it. And then Dr. MacArthur found out that was true. So he called me into his office and asked, hey, I found out you're moving back to Iowa. What could we do? I mean, what would it take? And I'm like, I've never even considered the question. He goes, no, why don't you go home, talk to Teresa, just put together a budget, see what it would take, to stay and finish the course. And so I did, crazy, came back in, kind of trembling, gave it to him. He goes, tell you what, let's get some friends to help you out. So invited me and my friend Graham McNay, that we named our fourth child after, and put us on the radio with them and interviewed us and started a thing called the Timothy Project so that listeners could help us go through seminary. So I was able then to use the stipend that they gave me, paid our tuition and the stipend to work at the Cal State Northridge in California, reaching university students, and got my whole seminary done. I remember looking in the rearview mirror as we were leaving LA and just tears running down my face because we had almost nothing to our name. We had almost, no extra, but we had no debt. We were able to go to Southern California, live there for 3 years, do seminary, work on a university campus, reaching people for Christ, and went away with no debt afterward. Wow. And that's all because of his fatherly, I'm just getting a little emotional thinking about the impact that he had. So then, several years later, I met up with him. I saw him at a conference, and he came to me, and he's like, Jeff, how are things in Iowa? And my mind is just racing. Like, how do you even remember who I am, well alone where I'm from? And I said, Dr. MacArthur, can I please, everything was always other-centered. From the first moment I met him, while I was actually a janitor at that point, the first time I met him, always ask about me. And I had this whole thing made up of how I was going to tell him how much impact he'd made on my life, and I never got around to it because it was all about, how did you come out here? Tell me your story. Same thing. Years later, I'm trying to, Jeff, tell me how things are back in Iowa. And I was like, please. I put my hand up toward his chest to stop him. I think what a, impetuous move. But I said, please give me this moment. I need you to know what an impact you had on my life, and teaching me the Bible, and not just the Bible, but my love for the Bible, my passion to study the Bible and to teach the Bible. That was all like a baby bird getting imprinted, was imprinted on me from him. And then even just pastorally, taking care of me to let me go through school. So, I know that he can be a controversial figure, and I see that also, right? But I just want to say today, I'm deeply grateful for his legacy in my life. And I was thinking about this with Hebrews 13, because it says, remember your leaders who have spoken God's word to you. As you carefully observe the outcome of their lives, imitate their faith. Hebrews 13:7. And I will just always have Dr. MacArthur in the top of that list of people that I want to imitate that path.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think about, for all of us and anyone who's listening or that knows you, that anyone that's been impacted by you, it's also a time to thank God for John MacArthur. If that's the kind of impact that and what shaped you to be the man you are, just the way that has come down, through your ministry. And wow, doesn't it make you pause and reflect on your own life ambition
100%.
To now want to
100%. But then also having that news here has been such a sweet thing, because the Kufals who own this cabin and have raised their kids here, now their kids own cabins flanking them, and the impact they've had, the number of people. I'm sitting next to you, Mark. I mean, the number of people that impacted, and that it's a reminder, like, don't shoot for greatness. Don't shoot for great things. I don't. Be faithful. You know what I mean? Just be faithful, and
I mean, it's just the ripple effect of God's word. Here you are talking about MacArthur's impact on you for teaching the word. Last night we go on a pontoon with Jim, who's saying, hey, you probably don't remember, but you taught this message 20 years ago, had a huge impact on me, and just that kind of flow to people, the power of God's word. I'm blown away by it, because MacArthur's known as a Bible teacher on the radio from a distance, but from somebody that's knows him personally, to say he would always talk about other people. Like that's a godly trait that's not connected to a talent of preaching. It's just like,
I think his public persona was very different than his pastoral presence. I remember one of the other pastors saying that far and away he was the most capable man in hospital rooms. Like if any of the pastors go to talk to somebody, he was the most compassionate, just most pastoral presence in a hospital room. I remember just thinking, this is the dude that I just, again, listen to and hear him proclaim the word, and to imagine that he's also like such a pace setter for the other pastors as to how to meet people one-on-one in their time of need and hurt. So
this has been a sacred time up here at the cabin. Drew, Jeff, and I caught Jim and Sally as they were leaving, and it's couple both in their 80s, and they were like, we're going on a kayak. We're going in the kayak together yesterday. They're pulling the kayak out and just doing their thing. But as they were leaving, we prayed together, and Jim and Sally prayed over us, and I got emotional. I started crying just thinking as Sally was praying, because she's so powerful spiritually in prayer, and as her and Jim both, and just praying over us, that where the prayer of a righteous man is powerful and effective. Didn't you kind of feel that? Like just the power of an 83-year-old praying over you. It's like there's some spiritual power that's being unleashed on you and through you. As she prayed, and I remember, because it's like years and years of faithfulness. I remember, and it just, I had this memory of being around the table. Joe moved away my freshman year of high school from Omaha. He moved all the way to Indiana, and we would go out and visit. And one time we were sitting around the table there in Indiana, and Joe was complaining about not being able to find the right girl. And there's not, whatever. He wanted some girl. He wanted a girlfriend. We couldn't find the right kind of girl. And I remember Sally rebuked him and was like, Joe, that's not the problem. You don't need to find the right kind of girl. You need to focus on becoming the right man. And until you become the right kind of man, you don't deserve it. And she just gave him this total mom speech.
Well, and then even when she, I'm sorry.
No, yeah. Share what she.
Maybe you were going to say the same thing. I didn't.
Yeah.
Because that lesson that she was passing on to her son first came to her in a time of prayer for her children.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you're going to say. But I just love that she was like, I was praying, oh Lord, bring the right kind of spouse to my children. And she said, I just felt like the Lord was saying, oh no, don't pray about that. Pray that your children are the right kind of people that would actually be worthy of the right kind of spouse. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, so then she first received that from the Lord, and now is passing that on to Joe in that moment, And so just that eagerness, and she just has a teachable spirit. Even now she's learned so much and trained some other people, but she's a hungry disciple of Jesus that continues to pass on what she's learning. So,
And if we're still hanging out here in our 80s,
oh man,
and just talking about life and
well, if you're in your 80s, I'll be in my 100s.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
What are we talking about, Jeff?
You wheel me in.
Jeff Jeff, what are you, 62?
Yeah. Yep.
62. And so, 14 years. I mean, if we're 80, you'd be 94. Your mom's what, 99?
Yeah. Totally.
Like, this is a real positive. Hey, can you imagine how great this podcast is going to be if we get 94-year-old Jeff?
I just vote if Jeff turns 100 and we're still doing the podcast, he then gets to become the first amazing pastor on the podcast. Like, that's
You'll be the first ever.
It'll be the average retired pastor.
right.
You might, or will he just be the most
aspire.
average pastor that ever lived?
Yeah, right. Totally.
I think that's it.
I think that would be the best thing. This has been a good week, being together with the Lord, getting a little splash of Kufal, Jim and Sally Kufal blessing. Drew, how's this week been for you? What's been on your heart and mind as we've been just sharing this time together, and anything that stuck out to you?
Man, I think one of the reflections, I mean, even as you were just talking, Jeff, a conversation that we've been kind of having on the side is just about honoring imperfect leaders. And, you know, because part of the backstory of that is like you're seeing stuff come out online.
Yep.
Even in the immediate aftermath of John MacArthur's death, that almost feels like a hit piece, or I need to air some laundry or whatever. And Hebrews 13 being an exhortation to the opposite of that.
Wow.
But even how extreme our cultures get, because when you say honoring imperfect leaders, I think it's easy to think that there was some moral failure,
Right.
Or you're just saying like you didn't like some of his ideas, right?
Right. Or thought he was too harsh or whatever.
Like it's not a.
There were no skit.
Yeah, I mean, he was a man of integrity, and so it's gotten pretty extreme if we struggle to.
Yeah.
Just you don't have to say, honor, but here's why I disagree. Like, just
right. And we don't have to, like what Drew is saying too, we can also give kind of an unqualified commendation and honor to some that, okay, noted, imperfect, noted, feet of clay, like all the rest of us, noted that I don't, fill in every dot, cross every T or whatever by Dr. MacArthur. But but hey, everybody, let's just take a moment and say, thank you, God, for the gift and blessing. You know what I mean?
Drew, you were connecting this thought, whatever made you think of that. You were also connecting it to some other things culturally, that like this impulse to just not like or someone or disagree with someone or because of the imperfection of it. Oh, right. And how else do you see that played out?
It was last night around the fire. Jake asked the question that it took me a day to try to figure out, or half a day to try to figure out how I would answer it. But he asked, like, what's like a hot take you have, or something that sounds like a hot take. What was the way you exactly asked it?
Something that you maybe don't want on the podcast,
right? Something you don't want on that we're not talking about.
So that's what we're gonna do right now.
Yeah. Can you answer the question now that we're on the podcast? Something you wouldn't want on the podcast?
Yeah, kind of. Well, it was something that
no, but
started,
it's not that hot of a take, but it's a good take.
No, it was something that I was thinking about. So I do something. It's become a tradition in my family. I have 5 kids, and it's called the 5th grade trip. So I want like a rite of passage for my kids, and so I take them on a trip. And we can't just go lay on the beach or something like that. I want it to be somewhat educational. We're kind of on the move. We want to take 25,000 steps a day and see museums and learn something and have fun together. I mean, the main purpose of it is to connect and have those sweet conversations. But I went to Boston with my daughter Hazel this year. And so we did the Freedom Trail and went to Fenway Park. And so I love history. So get just, again, bit by the bug of history. And so have been watching Ken Burns documentaries and just thinking about history and all that. And I've just had this thought that is so uncool right now. And it's just, I love America. And I'm like, just thinking like, why is that not cool right now?
Right.
And I think what's actually not cool right now is to love anything. basically, because
Nothing's perfect.
what cancel culture's brought is like, well, you can't love John MacArthur because did you hear this most recent soundbite from him? That wasn't cool. That was too harsh. Or you can't love America because
The blemishes.
the blemishes on these people. But then what that actually bleeds into is you can't love your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you're 5 years into that thing and it's like, oh, maybe I'll trade in and find a more perfect one. Or
It's a very cynical way to approach life.
you can't love your church because you find out that this is true about your pastor, or he's not that good at this or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe that's my thing that I need to say on the podcast that I said I wouldn't say on the podcast or whatever, is just like, I actually want to be more patriotic in a sense, not Christian nationalist, but like
even what you said about the flag, you were like, why is it subversive to raise the American flag on your home and demonstrate outwardly, have a visible sign and symbol of I'm a patriotic person. I love America. That shouldn't be a subversive. But in our day today, it's almost like, are you trying to make a statement? Well, yeah, a positive one. I love.
Well, think about like my daughter's friend. She befriended this immigrants from Guatemala, and she was over at our house, and they were drawing, and she drew Savannah a picture of the Guatemalan flag. And Savannah like put it on her door, this like Guatemalan flag. And I'm like, I love that. Yeah. I love that this girl, this sixth grade girl, loves her country,
right?
Loved Guatemala and where she's from. And she wanted Savannah to know and she talked about, like I had talked about her house with this little hut, in Guatemala, and she loved her country. And I didn't feel the need to like, we need to review Guatemalan history and just let you know your country is not that great or whatever. Or, just different. It's so your statement could be, a hot take could be, people should be more patriotic. Is that inaccurate?
Well, I think that like within Christianity, we have these unique resources, right? Because we believe that our identity is found in Christ. And so that's settled. We're loved by God. We have a righteousness that comes from him. And
our citizenship is in heaven.
Our citizenship is in heaven. So what that does is it rightly orders our other loves in our lives, so that then we can seek the good and prosperity of our country and love America, not as an ultimate end, not worship America or even whitewash its flaws, but honestly look at its history and say, I'm going to hold fast to what's good and I'm going to reject what's evil, but still love it, which is actually what we're trained to do with ourselves as Christians.
Call. What do you mean by that?
Well, like I'm holding fast to what's good and hating and rejecting and fighting what's evil in me every day. So it's this understanding like that our country is a complex country. I'm a complex person. We're complex people. My church is a complex group of people. My family is a cast of characters. And that doesn't give me permission to write them off. It's just an acknowledgement we're human.
Yep.
Yeah. And as Christians, we have a category for that. The unbelieving world doesn't. Like the only category is it becomes a system of condemnation, of a system of canceling, like you're bad.
Yes.
And like there's no gospel, there's no good news in that.
Yes.
In the complexity,
I have a theory that behind that problem in our country, it's a unique problem that comes out of prosperity. In a sense of, like you mentioned Bonhoeffer's quote when we were talking earlier, like our idea of community crushes community. There's out of prosperity, we have this idealism that everything's going to be easy. Everything's going to be perfect. Everything's going to be work out great. And anytime it doesn't, it falls short of this idealized expectation. So if my country's not perfect, if my marriage isn't perfect, if my church isn't perfect, we react in a way that we just don't have a bucket for that.
Right.
Drew, talk a little bit though about why some Christians are afraid of being patriotic because they think it might be the slippery slope toward Christian nationalism, which has gotten a lot of press right now. So talk about that, like the legitimacy of what you said before, the ordering of things.
Right. So there's always tensions, right? So one ditch would be a cynicism, and I'm not flying the American flag. I'm not doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I kind of see myself as distancing myself from my country because I don't want to be associated with something that's broken. So that's kind of one ditch. The other one is making a god out of your country. And what's messy in our country is the most popular version of that is somehow mixing that with Christianity. And so you almost like, I mean, I've seen politicians half quote the Bible and then fill it in with a patriotic saying at the end.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when you worship Jesus, you're able to, free from idolatry, love your country and seek its prosperity by engaging in the political system, but also just enjoying the food and the culture and the people, not without any commentary about the negative things, a frank acknowledgement of it without going into this cynical underworld of, you know.
Yeah, I love that. It's the ordering. It's what you started with. It's that ordering. I mean, I love, you guys have been with me to Zambia that, man, when it comes time, especially at like a graduation or something, they will boldly sing the national anthem of Zambia. They are the most passionate, Christ-loving people that I know, very passionate for the kingdom of Christ, but appropriately, even when celebrating like graduates from the Bible college that we put together, they're also honoring the flag, honoring Zambia robustly, like everybody's standing and there's no competition there.
I wish we could, Jake, why don't you have access to your writing, whatever you wrote? Because I wanted you to read the section on the smell, like every family has a smell. And you talked about like a country has a smell, like how you go into a country. And what I was wondering is the opposite true of that? Like a good smell, like when you go to Zambia and you see something similar to,
it's like a beautiful aroma.
It's a beautiful aroma and picture and something that you're like, oh, wow, that's cool when I see someone from Guatemala expressing their patriotism toward their country, or I see someone in America or in Zambia, but then all of a sudden we see it in America, we're like, that's wrong. You know?
Right.
But there could be a noble aspect to it.
No signal.
Oh, just riff on it. You know what you wrote. Talk about the smell.
Yeah, I think we have our own smell that we get comfortable with. So you go away on vacation, you come back, and then that hits you, and you're like, is that what we smell like? And you can be conscious of like, you have a smell, and you got stuff like, oh, I got this coat from my grandpa. It smells like my grandpa,
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what the cleaning commercials, James. I don't know if you know that. Like, is it Febreze? Where they talk about nose blind? Like you're nose blind to your own smells. We get nose blind to our own smells, but we're very aware of someone else's smells. So a friend who did some ministry work in Haiti comes back and talks about, there's God-loving Christians in Haiti, and they also kind of dabble in voodoo. And it's like, that That stinks.
Stinks.
It's obvious.
Obvious. In Zambia, there was, there's Christians who, also had a background of ancestral worship and kind of what?
Yeah.
Like how could
this be a struggle
and there's
for a
just,
Christian?
Right there, there's just almost this outrage of like, somebody's got to say something and
the dancing, remember the Zambian dance, the little girl doing the traditional Zambian dance, and we were like outraged.
The traditional, wildly inappropriate dance.
Yeah, it's like no.
Yeah.
Anyway, So sorry, keep going.
So, but we have our smells.
Yes,
that we just have become nose blind to. So you bring somebody else into America, and they're like, "Wait, American Christians, you watch that television show?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah," or you
Give the other examples.
You
Jake.
dress like that. You're over your head in credit card debt. Nobody like we have just our own stink that.
What was the exact line? It's like, you send your daughter to prom dressed like a prostitute. Was that the exact line?
That might have been the line.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, and
But they're like you're
But you can still
no,
you
okay.
can
Not
still
only that,
smell everybody else's smell.
You pick the scab, so it's like it's not only that. You post it on Facebook, and it just pisses me off. I'm sorry, like because it's like, where's the dad? That's like sending out your if my son was taking that daughter to prom, I'd be like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You go like,
Yep.
I'm just looking at.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
and
An
then
average
it's-
dad book. You can put a chapter in this because I'm just like, I don't know if the mom is kind of reliving her youth of like, oh, she's beautiful, and the dad has got his head down of just like,
yeah. Well,
no, this is gonna work me up.
we might have had our first ever beep in the whole.
I
Jake,
think that
Well,
there's-
and even foregoing Sunday worship, that was one of the things in your list of like if there are a lot of believers all around the world that would make a priority of gathering among God's people,
it's not as big a deal in America,
right? And so that kind of thing, we kind of have a stench.
Yeah, and if we're going to pursue holiness in our culture, we have to become more aware of our stink.
Don't keep spraying Febreze on it.
Don't spray Febreze on this. Let's deal with it.
We need some essential oils. Get some natural. Come on.
You're like, I
Okay.
don't think this is what Paul was talking about when he talked about us being the aroma of Christ.
Yeah, totally.
The studio audience is wanting more out of this. You see these guys giving like third base coach signals. Like, Mark, keep poking him. Let's
Keep going, Jake. Well, then Jake, he gives this total. After you go on this tirade of these things, oh my word, I'm getting stung by something.
Yeah,
That
I
also
don't
happens
know
in the
if
cabin.
you can see the flies that just.
Oh, my word.
Maybe it's because we're sweating
Something
profusely.
just stung me. Anyway, we're at the cabin.
yeah. We've got this like idyllic setting, and people are like, "Oh man, I wish I could be there in the cabin with you." But then you don't see my lower body. Also, this like seat is made out of vinyl, and my legs are stuck like permanently. Like I think I'm gonna have to peel them off.
It's like 90 degrees in here.
We're
And then Mark, every time Mark moves in his chair,
Hey,
Does the
Jake.
studio audience have questions?
no, Jake, but to keep you going, you dropped this total Jake line after, whatever your lines were. You're going to let your dad go to send her off to prom dressed like a prostitute. You're going to watch this trashy TV show. You're going to do all these things.
Oh, this.
And then you think it's something about praying to grandma. What was the line?
I don't know.
Well, come on. So,
you think
what?
you think that's way better than praying to grandma?
Yeah. You think that's not as,
Yeah.
yeah,
Other people's stink is worse.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're just nose blind to our own. And I think a heart in writing this too is not just to play, let's just bash us,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
a precursor to revival is when we get serious about our sins, not other people's
Yes.
sins. So hopefully for the American church, or not the American, our local church, as that's who I'm writing to, like that we would be like, okay, other people have their stink. Let's focus on our stink.
Let's look in the mirror first.
Yeah.
Let's not be trying to pick all the little splinters out of somebody else's eye when we got big old logs, beams.
Yeah.
not
We were
ours.
talking about it, Jake. I do think that this book is going to have more impact than the God the Prize. The God the Prize is a great kind of big idea book, and this book seems to apply. What would it look like to live this out?
It's just funny because I think Drew said it first, and I echoed. I felt the same thing about your book, but when it's said back to you, it feels like this. It's going to be better than your last.
Jake, you're
Hey,
coming
stay
up.
in there. Stay in there, buddy. You can hit this next one.
You keep going, Jake. You're gonna go from selling tens and tens of books to like
you'll get
dozens and dozens. I mean,
It's better.
I have faith in it. We talked about making our own little award club. What was your idea with this?
Oh, I think the books have like a gold medallion or we just need to make like if you sell 100, you get
What would that be?
we got to make up our
Average
own award.
pastor
It's
book
gotta
of the
be our
year.
own
Yeah.
And it's the
categories.
only book that came out that year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy.
Or make our own writing association, like the corridor, writers. So it could be like
So that we can give out awards
Yeah.
to ourselves.
It's the
I love it.
winner of the best
Jake,
book by the Corridor Writer Association or something.
the medals like the Newbery medal.
Yeah.
That's I mean, what would the Pulitzer Prize, that, or the National Book Award?
It
I mean,
could
these are
happen.
some of the,
Yeah.
these are some of the parodies that we could use this for.
We just, and just have awards all over the
Instead of the Newbery, it's like the newbie.
book. Yeah.
You get the newbie award.
It's the Dundies of our book.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, Drew, we're gonna come back. Can I get a 5th grade trip with you?
Yeah.
Seriously, I want to go to
my
Boston
trip
with you,
to
man.
DC. And
Where would you
I-
take
I
Mark
love-
on his 5th grade trip?
Oh man.
We'd have to talk about it. It's got to be historical, Mark. We're not just going to sit on the beach,
Yeah.
You got to come up.
No, because
I know
this
what
is
I
the
would
thing.
want.
Where?
Would you go with us on the?
Well, if it's got to
The
be,
question is, can you go with him? He's about to give his.
Okay.
I want to investigate some like rumored historical hidden treasure. I want to go treasure hunting.
Whoa! Do you have an example?
I have no idea.
You're making this up as
But
we
we're
go.
gonna go scuba dive. We're gonna be hunting for treasure
A ship.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, back in
sunken ship.
16.
Let's go find it.
Well, you would have to learn how to scuba dive.
That's part of the trip.
Adventures in North Liberty.
You're
it's right
reading
there.
Team of Rivals.
I'm reading Team of Rivals. Yeah.
Have you been to Gettysburg?
No,
There you
I
go.
haven't been out to the
dude.
Northeast.
Maybe that's where we should go. We should go to Gettysburg.
But it's all kind of in the same
Yeah.
area, isn't it? Like
That's-
that could be one of our.
That's amazing.
So I love.
It really is.
This is the problem with I think about going with my kids. Like I want to stop and I'm someone like I want to read all this stuff. Like I want to read the plaques, read the stuff in the museums. And so I think it would be fun to go with other people that appreciate that. Like that would be a blast. That trip.
Totally would be a blast.
Can we do that? That'd be fun.
Well done though. As a dad, that's a good.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, so
Dad.
so you're writing the Average Dad book right now. And here's an average dad story from my dad, Drew Stevenson. So when I was in elementary school, this is where I got the idea from. He did talk every year in Washington, D.C. And so he went the first year, and then he's like, oh man, like all I'd have to do is pay for the flights for my kids, and I've already got the hotel room and whatever. So he had one talk that he did. He was a veterinary pathologist, so I had to sit through a 3-hour talk on diseases in pigs, in Washington, D.C. But then he took us around to all the Smithsonian's and art museums and all that. But I just got 3 straight days with just my dad and I.
Oh, that's special.
And so you've got the historical aspect of it, but you've also got the just riding on the plane, riding on the train type thing that's what we as kids are looking for, right?
Yeah.
I think, and that Boston, DC, those places give you so much of that very thing for a child, even because now you're at the Lincoln Memorial and you're reading, his words chiseled into that stone, and then you see the Declaration of Independence. I'm just saying, like those teachable moments, but also a lot of fun because you're walking from one to the other and you're having those. I think that's no screen time, no anything else. You're actually out and engaging in things together. That's beautiful. I hope some other dads listening will.
Well, and you're
kinda
reminding
pick
me,
up
it
on
was
that.
like a full circle thing because the first of my kids that I took was my now 13-year-old son, Luke, to Washington, D.C. So I took him 2 years ago. And I had been to D.C. with my dad, and that's where he wanted to go. So that was my first 5th grade trip with one of my kids. and he's adopted from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So we're at the Lincoln Memorial with my very dark African son sitting on the steps watching the I Have a Dream speech together, because it's given right from the steps there. And so it's like, I was here with my dad however many years ago. Now I'm here with my son who's adopted. We're watching this. And I mean, just one of those incredible moments.
That's cool, dude. Well done.
Jake, how's your time been here at the cabin? What are some thoughts? How are you feeling about our time? Stuff you've been, it's been hitting you during this time.
Yeah, I love being up north. Being on a lake in the cabins. It's great. A lot of laughter, good times. It was good to get some writing done. Felt like the idea's been sitting there for a long time. I just haven't gotten to it, and this kind of propelled some progress. So that was
good.
You're able to really zone in, man. I would look up. You were on the back deck at that table, and you were like fierce in your devotion to what you were doing. The rest of us are kind of like, hey, where's that peanut M&M bag, or whatever. Like you're like, once you get in the zone, you are like, bam.
I struggle writing. Johnny actually helped me because I would try to edit and write at the same time, and I'd be so concerned about crafting every sentence. It was just a slow grind, and she's like, just write, write, and you can come back and edit. And that's been freeing of like, I just talk and type.
I gotta say, you zone in too, Mark. You do. It's just you were. It
looks a little different.
You were down the lake a little bit, so I couldn't watch you at
locked in. I had to take breaks like every half hour because Jake, just couldn't sit that long.
This is a difference. Like I have ADD or ADHD or some. I've got my attention deficit is very disordered. I don't know what.
No, you were born in the late 70s. No one had ADD.
I think it's humanness.
We didn't.
I think what you have is humanness.
But the struggle with focus, easily distracted, that type of thing. Jake, you don't have that. Like I think. Do you? Like
Sorry,
I think.
What was the question?
Let's go, Jake. Yeah.
Oh man.
Jake dialing it in.
You do.
But I can't do a lot of things at once.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You have to. Yeah. Focus on that. One conversation that I want to have later tonight, when the mics are off, we're going to start. Is. What is this? This average pastor thing. We talked last year, 2 years ago. Like we've been talking about. We should. Like, what is it? Should we? Is it just like we hang out? It kind of started. Jeff and I. You would come down to Iowa City, and we'd just grab lunch on Wednesdays, and then it kind of drifted off. But then we added the writing retreat in, and just doing some retreats, getting away, and just the question of, we're like, what should we ever do? Like a podcast? It'd be fun to just, talk and just kind of let other people into what stuff we're processing, and would that be helpful? And now it's like, what is it? What made me think of this is when you're talking about writing, I want to encourage people to write more, because I think that writing is. Sometimes you can be insecure about, there are a lot of things that can keep you from writing. Everything from just, I'm lazy and I don't want to do it, to I might be embarrassed. I don't want anyone to ever read what I wrote.
For me, it's, I don't want to sound dumb.
Yeah.
Is this thought coherent?
Yeah.
Is this chapter coherent? Is this paragraph coherent? Like,
is
whatever, you know what I mean? You just feel like,
you can have a lot.
Is this just going to be a declaration of how dumb I am?
Yeah. Right. Everyone is, what is it? Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak up and remove all doubt.
Yeah.
That could apply to writing as well.
Right.
Hey, I don't want to, but I want to encourage people to write. But then it gets to a question of, there are people, the pen is mightier than the sword. There are people that are gifted writers and communicators. It makes me think, like, where's the platform for that anymore? Where's the place that someone who's a gifted thinker and writer?
Yeah, not just a quick soundbite on social media, but a long, expanded We call them books.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
like
books, but-
hold a thought
Sure.
and complete
But
it. You know
then,
what I mean? Yeah.
but then also like Jeff, we were talking about you tuned in to Grace to You by John MacArthur. And I'm like, well, we've all been shaped now by other maybe podcasts we're listening to or pastors.
Yeah.
And so is there a place where you could like a platform to,
And I mean, I hope this podcast is a blessing to people. How, I have no idea, but I hope what we write is a blessing to people, but we're pastors first.
Yes.
And it's another way to shepherd our flock that
That's
we're
what I
called to
love.
shepherd. So our main audience when we're writing is what's another resource we can give to our people in their pursuit of Christ.
Yeah.
And it's just another means that, because you can hear a sermon and nowadays it's recorded, you go back and listen to it. It made an impact, but a book can stay with you. You can like, it's a different way of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're tasked to teach, then we need to think of the different ways that people learn to try to help them grasp these really essential truths.
Well, the cool thing about our conversations is it always comes back to the people that God has given us the privilege and honor of serving.
Yeah.
And that's what grounds us. It's that we're not talking just to each other or to some, I don't know, random group of people out there somewhere. We have a real church family and real issues that come up and how what we're thinking impacts them immediately. That's what I love is engaging on that level. And so then if others listen in, oh, sweet, that's great. But man,
this podcast, it's not our attempt at pastoring the world.
right.
It's there's people that we love at have in mind congregations, you know, our little, it's, we were talking about the podcast on the drive up and, you know, Jake, you were kind of thinking, you know, it's like, hey, is there anything you could change about the podcast? And I'm sure, you know, every listener's like, oh, tell me about it. I'll, you know, we'll fill up the average pastor Gmail account with
We're actually
inbox.
we're not asking them to do that, right? Let's just
No,
clarify. We're not
Like, I
asking
don't really
our
care if it's
viewership.
You can send
Keep your opinions to yourself.
Send them in.
You send
average
all-
pastor podcast.yahoo.com.
Yeah. Send them to our Yahoo account.
You guys have never once gotten it right.
That one was
what is it?
intentional.
Okay, now I can. Average Pastor Podcast at gmail.com.
Okay. Average pastor
rolls
podcast
off
at
the
gmail.com.
tongue.
It's great.
So easy to remember.
But Jake, you know, we are having this like existential moment about the podcast. Like you're like, well, you could stand to be a little more prepared.
Or
What do you
know
think?
what we're talking about? Like, hey, Jake, we'd like you to read something.
It's like you're asking for the moon, Jake.
I
You're
know.
asking for the moon.
It seemed like you want like this 2-week notice to study for our topic. I'm like, no, like 5 minutes.
Like,
nope. Yeah,
Jake, for what it's worth, we got signal. We've been texting back and forth this whole time, just making jokes about you guys. So I don't know what service you got.
But Drew pointed out that the benefit with Mark is when he's bringing new stuff up, it's new to him too. All right.
we're all in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely, Mark's not doing it to have the upper hand.
When he picks up his phone to say what's next,
Yeah.
he's actually just kind of like, so anyway, he's like trying to erase in his mind as if there's actually a script on that screen.
He's
to show.
actually writing the note that he's then reading.
So I think it could be helpful to at least have a known topic.
Well,
I don't think it's
think
gonna-
Jake, I think that's the secret sauce is that
Not
none
gonna
of us
happen.
know what's going to,
It's a sauce. I don't know.
it's,
Like, there's no danger of this thing ever getting like franchised or becoming too big.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
Who
is
would take that
asking.
risk?
Nobody is asking for the ingredients to this
Like,
sauce.
give me the recipe to that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nobody's asking.
Nope. No sponsors are beating down the door for us. They're like, we don't know where this is going. No, we're not going to do
I think
it.
that's part of the magic. That's well, it's I want to do a podcast that I would want to listen to or would want to just like if like, I like being able to show up and I mean, there's some ideas, things are on your mind, but, not knowing where, like if you're going in to meet an old friend and you're like, it's really just like, how are you doing? And then that's where the conversation begins. That's the magic is it's not coming into the room and like, well, here's my power. I know you're not asking for a PowerPoint with bullets, but I think just the in the moment catching up is how you're thinking. And I think our thoughts are very raw. We are actually processing a lot of things. So we were talking about whether or not we were going to, I don't know, release one of, there was a topic that it kind of made us question like, should we release that or not? And I think that's the nature of this podcast is they aren't like fully formed. You're not standing in the pulpit preaching, thus saith the Lord, this is God's word to us. It's, there is a dynamic process of.
And I do think it's helpful in the sense of, I do hope that the listeners are being encouraged to have deliberate conversations about difficult things in a way that Christ is honored, the other people are honored, even if sparks fly sometimes, even if iron sharpens iron along the way. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be afraid of those kind of conversations. So I do hope.
We should just change the name of the podcast to Unbaked Thoughts. It
all comes back to food metaphors. Are you thinking about unsmoked?
5:36. Let's wrap this up.
Well, yeah. But I gotta ask. Now I'm having FOMO of these guys are over here having a good time texting back and forth. James, can you let us into any of the?
You should even say why. Okay, the reason that they are here, Mark invited them to come on this little writer's retreat. And then immediately when they said, oh, dude, we'd love it. Okay, can you guys cook for us the whole time that you're there? I was like, wow, what an honor.
Is that what it's like on staff with Mark? It's like, the Devil's Wears Prada.
Mostly we've been laughing back here about how bad Ryan has to pee right now.
We got another beep. We got another. You can't use words like that, James.
I can't say pee
no,
on the podcast.
No, there it is again. No, we got one more. How many more of those do we have to have?
I think you can
That's
do it.
The 90s
just put
Christian
a little
in you coming out right
symbol
there,
on this podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to put explicit. We'll get a lot more listens if we put that on there. But
I am curious. Is there any question? We never have a live audience.
They're all looking at each other like they haven't been listening for the last 20 minutes.
That checks out. They're like, is there anything you want to ask?
I feel like when there's not coherency coming out of the group, it's hard to have a coherent question come out of the audience.
While we're waiting for a question from the audience, the whole time I've been looking, like I looked over, like I wonder what time it is. So I looked at the clock right behind, and it's like. The clock says, I've been looking at this clock has been up here for decades, but you look at the clock and it just says, who cares? And all the numbers are piled up at the bottom. And I'm looking at this clock and clearly it's not working because it was close to the time. Like, oh man, it's only 4:15, but I realize it's stuck there.
How long have we been
And then I realized,
wait.
I don't know. But,
I just realized that too.
But then I'm having this moment of thinking,
time.
I think that clock is my life. It represents like it's like who cares, and it's stuck. It doesn't work right.
You should take that home. There's going to be a space behind it at the exact shape as that when you take it off the wall. But they wouldn't mind. Sally wouldn't mind. Take it home. That's yours.
It's got
a metaphor for your life right there.
It's got to stay. Anything? I mean, anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, the baby back ribs they won't be ready for another 30 minutes probably.
How long have we been going?
Right? So
an hour.
Okay.
Just about.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's any closing thoughts or other things to talk about. Drew, this is probably our last time with you, at least for a while.
Wow.
Bad reviews.
Wow. It's like when you're going to fire somebody.
Let's just cut it right now, James. Let's just end on that.
It's not you.
Man, I think this is going to be the last time we see you.
Who cares?
Yeah. Like the clock. Who cares? I don't know. Anything Anything else, Drew?
Well, I mean, another highlight for me, we haven't talked about your book, your reading.
Oh yeah, that was powerful.
I mean, I think, the message of your first book was kind of anyone can do the most important things.
Mm-hmm.
And this book is any dad can do the most important things. And just your description of your dad as an average dad was so compelling.
So compelling.
And like, I mean, honestly, it was just told as a narrative. You read it as a narrative to us. And what it produced in me was like repentance. Like I literally just like listen to that. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like it's so easy to come home from work and check out on the phone instead of running in the backyard and jumping on the trampoline with my kids, or sitting on the sidelines at the pool instead of jumping in. And I mean, that's one of the things I'm leaving with and looking forward to getting into our church's hands. Such an accessible book on being a dad.
It's winsome, incredibly creatively and beautifully written. But it holds so much beautiful content, like really accessible. You can do this and should do this content, which is why I said when we were having you do your reading earlier, like, hey, can you have like speak the gospel into grandpas that weren't that dad? And I'm like, guys like the whole time I'm like me, for instance, but seriously, like a lot of dads who for either internal, like because they blew it, or lots of other difficulties in parenting that have come to them, like being able to speak the gospel to them. I'm just saying, I think it's going to be both, like it'll push dads in the right direction, but it also is rich in gospel. Like this is not a duty filled, heavy yoke kind of book. It's encouraging and gospel filled, and it's you gotta get it done, man, because I think there's a world waiting to receive it.
But it's at such the heart of what you guys are talking about, what we're talking about. Here's what we really want as dads, husbands, pastors, is to be gracious and relationally present with people in our church and in our family. And anybody can do that thing, and yet it's simultaneously the hardest thing to do, to not chase fame or money or a trophy or success, but just be content with the small life that God has given us and enjoy the people in the room. So thanks for that.
Thanks.
It's the power of the little things. And I think that comes across in kind of the average message that is being portrayed of, we want this epic accomplishments or whatever, but your kids just want you to play catch with them. And even when it comes to like being a pastor, it's like you think, I want to have the strategy and big plan. And it's like, you can't overlook just a hospital visit and just like those little things are huge. And whether it's a pastor or a dad or whatever, the simple little things are super powerful. I think your book highlights that in a really winsome way.
Do you have a goal for when you hope to have it completed?
James, what's our deadline?
I mean, the big picture deadline is make sure people can have it by Father's Day. But it'd be great if it's before that. I think we can hit before that.
Cool.
Yeah.
With your help, James. Let's do this.
Carry him
great.
across.
It was pretty
finish
organized. Like you had chapters laid out, and it was almost like we could do that with the podcast. Like you were going to talk about that.
Wow. Snuck that right in.
It can
Are you trying to sneak some?
Like you do know how to do that, Mark. I've seen it.
You trying to sneak organization into this?
No.
You trying to sneak some agenda and planning?
I think we do have one question from the studio audience.
Okay.
We're ready.
Okay.
Hey guys, Ryan here, big fan of the podcast.
Long time listener.
Ryan.
Just wanted to say, specifically to Jake, Drew. You guys have been huge influences to me and have been super shaping in just my spiritual walk and my love for Jesus. And just wondering if you guys could give any money to our church plant in California. I just want to let myself and the studio audience know what your thoughts are on that. Thank you.
If Veritas Church Cedar Rapids and Redemption Church of Minneapolis would be able to just a question.
There's always
that's a great
Jake's
question.
gonna have the same answer that I have right now, and this is what every good pastor says when confronted with these type of dilemmas live on the air. You just say, first, I'm going to pray about it, and then secondly, I'm going to have to talk to my elders.
Yep.
You can dodge anything. You can those two.
You can get
get out of anything.
Yep.
Ryan, we're excited for your church plan, and we're gonna come alongside in some way.
Wow, there it is.
But I got to talk to my elders.
Yeah.
And pray about it.
You know,
Pray about it.
I have to use this occasion to, if there's anyone from Veritas Church Cedar Rapids, I mean, anytime your church is amazing. You know what happened when we planted Veritas Cedar Rapids? It was so hard to let it go. I mean, people we love, we're going up there preaching all this stuff, but we realized we can't be local church pastors. We can't pastor Cedar Rapids from Iowa City or whatever. But so we planted and we had this budget, and basically, we had the church with all the college students, and
Our guys had jobs.
And Cedar Rapids had jobs, and so our budget got cut literally in half. And Cedar Rapids planted, but you got together with your elders, and you guys made this outrageous financial commitment to give back to Veritas Iowa City because of your love for college students, and also just, I think it was just a love,
Well, you guys
I don't know
you didn't have to relinquish that, and you didn't think of yourselves first. You thought of the kingdom, and that set a tone.
Yeah.
Culture.
Okay, you just reminded me of an average pastor training moment that I got from you from those days.
What was that?
So, okay, Chrome Horse. This had to have been in 2012. I think it was even before.
The Chrome Horse, we planted the church the Easter of 2013.
Okay, so this was really early on, and that was when, I mean, primarily you and Jeff were bopping back and forth, but I also did it every once in a while.
Yeah, this is Jeff Thune you're talking about.
Jeff Thune, yeah. And so I went up with you, and this was the era of Mark carrying a printer in his trunk to print off his notes. So I'm getting this
Not
close.
that.
Okay, this is amazing. So Mark goes in, and he hadn't been able to get the printer to work. He had finished his sermon that morning, and he's in the back of the Chrome Horse trying to print off his notes. And I think you handed it off to John DeBold, and you're like,
our sound guy,
and
John.
So the worship song ends, and Mark just walks up on the stage and starts his sermon with no
Hot off the
notes.
printer.
And then John runs it up at some point in the middle, and he's like, "All right, I can start my sermon."
Yeah.
Well, when I came up, you were.
That was
Don't try this at home. We're professionals over here.
I came up to visit to see if we were going to come up here, and you would come up and preach in Cedar Rapids and then down in Iowa City, and you had a driver that you didn't drive. You had a driver driving.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy's a big deal. Like, he's got a driver. I just realized you needed the prep time.
Yeah,
Totally.
because we had the Cedar Rapids service started at 9:00.
Yeah.
It met in a bar in the Chrome Horse. Rest in peace. I think it burned down. But we were, we preached, and they had like one worship song, and we did the sermon on the front end of the service so we could get in the getaway car, drive, 30, 45 minutes down to Iowa City and run in, basically the worship is just ending for that service. It started at 10:45, and then so that's when we brought Jake on to give leadership to that.
That was the black
congregation.
sedan. He sat in the back.
Right.
Get to
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
I'm sure.
Right.
No,
I'm sure.
I got some great. Dale was my driver. Dale Mulligan was one of the drivers one time, and he gave me some great advice because I'm in the car like reviewing my notes, and he's like, Mark, don't speak to your notes, speak to the people.
Mhm.
Uh,
And I remember like wow, that's great advice. Don't obsess over these notes. And when you're preaching, just speak to the people.
So
And,
Drew,
anyway,
don't preach to your Post-it.
Do you still preach off a Post-it?
No, I started out of a Post-it, and I've actually the more I've done it, I've maybe one of the rare people who adds more notes the more
yeah?
I do it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds. We'll have to do. We missed our opportunity because we're not the plane is officially landing because we're getting ready for dinner, but
It has nothing to
because
do
we're
with,
hungry.
It has nothing. I thought you were going to say because we want to respect people's time.
Oh no, they stopped listening.
It's like,
I can smell them ribs from here.
We're hungry, and Ryan has
we
to
just-
pee so bad.
why
Dude,
just
that's
just
four.
go?
That is
Just
the
go.
fourth beep. Well, you stop down there. Holy
Excuse
cow.
you. You can
Holy
walk.
cow.
Yeah, just go.
Cussing
Enjoy
is
it.
just off the
All right.
rails.
We're gonna
Okay.
have that little E with a circle around it.
You had one
Explicit.
more.
My
You had
word.
one more
Keep
thing
laughing,
to say.
you're gonna go right there.
Yeah. Well, when we get Drew next time, we'll do I'd love that. It'd be a fun conversation about preaching. You're
that'd
you're
be
leading a class tomorrow night or tomorrow with some young emerging preachers. Jake, your stuff. I mean, there's a lot of fun topics when we had Drew, but we're out of time. Look at the time. Look at the time on that clock. Who cares?
Who cares?
And yeah, so let's end with just a benediction of, I mean, just a word. I don't know, Jeff. I feel like the holy moment was just reflecting on a life well lived for Christ with Dr. MacArthur, and I just wonder if there's any just kind of closing, whether it's I don't know.
Yeah, I just
There's a
think, in when we're just faithfulness, let's just seek, faithfulness. That's what Paul said. Is it 1 Corinthians 3, 1 Corinthians 4, where let a man consider us as servants of Christ and stewards. We're just faithful stewards of the mysteries of God. So therefore, it is incumbent upon the servants that he be found faithful. That's it. That's his holy aspiration. So may that be true, not just for us, but for those listening in. Let's just be found faithful.
Yeah, keep walking with Jesus and live into the dream of becoming someday Jim and Sally Kufal,
Amen.
Jack and Linda Arendt, the other average people who've gone ahead and laid the path of faithful as Dr. MacArthur, and that's the path we want. So well, it's been great. Looking forward to the rest of our time together. But thanks for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the ride and found something encouraging. And so we hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.